What is going on, everybody? 2Bob29 back in the lounge yet again. Make sure to kick back, to relax, to grab some snacks. It is time for volume number 23 of the Round Table Podcast. And boy, oh boy, is it a jam-packed podcast today. Not only with the amount of people that we have hanging out with us in the voice chat, and not only with the amount of people that we have on the podcast today, but also the topics that we got. There's definitely some hot topics today on the podcast. So, yes, I'm sure everybody is aware this weekend we have Hype. And Hype is an experience for sure. We will be talking about that later on in the podcast. That is not going to be our initial point, but as always, we go around and introduce ourselves. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself to Bob29. As always, I'm the leader of TNM and the host of the Round Table Podcast. And as almost always with me, I have the man himself who is blaming his significant other for not having gotten Coco Beware, which I thought was a hysterical story. But B-Rock, Mr. B-Rock Gaming, how are you doing today on this wonderful morning of Hype?
Hey, Bob. This is B-Rock. Not a full-time job.
Thrilled.
Oh, I am hyped for this, as we're gonna talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you very much for having me here today, along with this cast of characters.
Of course.
Definitely appreciate it. And if you're listening, this is gonna be a shameless plug because we're looking for 15 strong people. Come check out Not a Full-Time Job. You're damn right.
Taking advantage while you can, B-Rock. Taking advantage while you can. I respect it. I respect the hustle. Good to have you here. Also with me, someone making their debut appearance on the podcast. You are going to need your subtitles active for this one. I apologize if YouTube doesn't have the functionalities or the capabilities, but joining us here today, someone that I have been actually very thrilled to get onto the podcast for his first and probably only time. We'll see about that one. And it couldn't have been a worse time with everything going on this weekend. I have the one and only Mr. McMenemy. McMenemy, are you there? Go ahead and give an introduction of yourself to the people at home.
I am here. I am McMenemy. I will keep it as clean as I possibly can so you don't get demonetized for my stupidity. and it is not my fault if YouTube doesn't have the functionality to do the script to fucking subtitle every word I say. That's on them, no me.
We already have questions asking if there's a translator available in the live chat. This is going to go great. Love it. Good to have you, Bucko. Very, very happy to have you on board. Also, not sure if this is his first time with us. Maybe his second time. I'm drawing a blank now. I think I've had him on before. Probably on his 17th audio device for the week. And the week is not over, so I'm looking forward to lucky number 18 later on. Probably on Sunday, and probably number 19 as well, knowing him. I have Mr. Phil with the 411. Phil, have you gotten your audio sorted? Can we hear you?
Yep, audio is fine, hopefully. Hopefully you can all hear me. Yep, Phil with the 411. TNM legend, I think is the best way to describe it.
Welcome on in, Phil. Good to have you. Also have with me, and she is making yet another return. Super thrilled to have her on board with us. Someone who is definitely feeling the hype this morning, and I am not going to go into her personal activities as to why, but she is here to join us. It is Miss Kitsu Shell. Shell, how are you doing, girl?
I'm doing well, thank you.
No intro?
And
that's just it?
I mean, you make everything sound so dirty. I was just, I made whipped cream with my breakfast. Bob just has a dirty mind. That's all.
Yeah. Make sure to show up for the pre-show so that you know I'm not just BSing. And last, certainly not least, the man who still has a Z in his name, so I can introduce him at the very back end of the podcast. I don't know why, but apparently he loves finishing last. It is the one, the only, the gender man himself, Mr. Southside, Envy. Envy, how are you doing today on this wonderful Saturday full of hype?
Well, clearly I love finish last because I haven't creamed today at all. But Southside Envy here from the new ministry, and let's get to that warrior of the Greek, Showtime King, for keeping me honest about top lane gender movement and telling me I need to get Jen out in these streets. And yes, sir, he is back in these streets right now as we speak, dishing out work.
Got the top lane gender back in the streets. Also, Envy, I think you scoured just about every single shard or a fragment item, rather, I should say, in in that loot over there, and you came to the conclusion that there is some gender fragments available for you.
There are indeed. I can't wait. Let me tell you, them things. I know the percentage is probably gonna be half of them gender charts, so or frags or whatever you call them. I might spend the loot on the low all the time if I hit gender one time.
Well, I wish you nothing but the best of luck in your gender pursuit. As you can tell, everybody is indeed very, very hyped for this podcast. So let's hop right on into it. And like I said, I'm going to purposely give B-Rock some time to accustom himself to the hype because he has not played enough feud with it just yet. So we're going to allow him the time to get familiar with it, and we're going to talk about a few other things that we had going on since the past 2 weeks. So let's go ahead and talk about probably one of the bigger items that we have had on the hit list the past couple of weeks. There are no more Hall of Fame tokens. You have them on your roster. They will eventually be swapped out to something else, or maybe there will be a redeem. I haven't seen any update in regards to what it is that we can swap them out for. But Hall of Fame tokens are now not used to evolve your Hall of Fame characters. You can use regular tokens to do just that. And speaking on that note, in terms of talenting up your characters, Talent Up has taken a drastic change. Now they are claiming it is 3 times easier. I don't want to necessarily relive how hellacious it was in the most recent Talent Up experience, because boy oh boy were there a lot of folks that were upset with that. But if you want to add in your comments there too, that's totally fine and understandable. But yes, Talent Up has indeed changed. The points have changed just a little bit, and the max milestone has come down from 170 mil to 120 million points. So, very curious. Everybody's thoughts? No more Hall of Fame tokens. What are we thinking? How are we feeling about the fact that there are no more Hall of Fame tokens? B-Rock, let's have you start us off. Why not?
You don't want me to start off.
Yeah, that's exactly why I want you to start off.
Oh my god. Okay, so we're gonna really talk about this. Scopely, there are so many things that you could have done to improve the game, and this is just a stale sideshow to turn around. It's like a magic trick. Hey, look at this, and then you screw us with hype. But anyway, what I'm gonna say is I get it. It's supposed to make everybody's life easier. What's the delay with trading in the old tokens? Because what I'm seeing from a lot of people is their resources are getting sucked up faster now with 3 talent ups this month. You know, you go from 1 to, okay, we're going to go bi-weekly. And now this month, because it was a 5-week, you got 3 of them going. And, you know, people are burning through resources, unlike Bob, who will have resources after the apocalypse.
Why are we just tossing me under the bus? What did I do?
Anybody who's listened to this podcast knows that you've got 11 tokens of pretty much everything. So no, we know. but some of us don't. And you're seeing people saying, "Yo, I can't do, I can't max talent up," and now you're getting people who are being strategic. Where, like, perfect example, myself, last month I only maxed 2 because I was like, you know what, I'm not wasting the resources for this.
Mm-hmm.
So Scopely just needs to hurry up and come out with whatever trade in or whatever they're going to do for compensation or resources from the old tokens, because I've got a crap ton of old tokens. I learned from Bob not to level up every Hall of Famer. Plus the simple fact that I don't like Hall of Fame. Makes my life easier.
All right. Well, sounds like B-Rock has got his input, his thoughts here. Shell, talk to me. What's your thoughts on no more Hall of Fame tokens counting?
I personally like the idea. I think it will help make it more streamlined. But I agree with B-Rock. I wish they would hurry up and figure out and let us know what the exchange is going to be. Because, now it's just like we just have these old Hall of Fame tokens just sitting here gathering dust, when they could be converted into something else useful.
Right. Any other thoughts on it? Any comments on the talent up?
Yeah, not really.
Okay.
It's a lot. Like, I am on the... Try to word this right. I have a larger roster, but my resources are... You've seen my resources. My resources are like nil. It's like slim to none. So if they could ease up on the talent up, I know that would make me personally a little happy.
Sure.
But yeah.
Bob, what she's saying is she got a dump truck back there, so she's trying to save some stuff.
I don't say. All right. My middle name is Impulsive. I don't save anything. Like Bob, my Discord tagline is a quote from Bob that says, "Chill. What are we doing here?" Because oftentimes I am very vocal that I'm not good with strategy, which is fine. I do enjoy the game and I love playing the game. But so I will oftentimes be in our Discord server, in our voice chat, sharing my screen. This way, it happens a lot that someone will just look and be like, "Show, wait, what? You're doing that wrong." But more often than not, it's always Bob. "Show, what are we doing here?" And I can guarantee you I would not still be playing this game without Bob's help. So I appreciate it.
I do try to help as much as I can to everybody that I can. So I'm hopeful that I am of some help for sure. Oh, look at that! I forgot that Jey Uso steals power gems, or pyro gems. Forgot that entirely. McMenemy, talk to me. What's your thoughts on the Hall of Fame token swap?
Don't care that they've went away. Like everybody else, I just want them to... They should have just had something in place so we could swap them straight away, instead of, oh, we're going to take them away, but no, you have to wait while we decide what the trade-in's going to be, because we don't think that far ahead, apparently. But that's about that. As for talent up, I screwed up the last one. I could have done it for 100 million in the first hour, but I didn't, so that's on me.
Yeah, the good old coin talent up as everyone has been interacting with and dealing with for sure. Was a heavy hit.
Yeah, it was, but I'd have still maxed it anyway, and I did.
Yeah, there you go. I was looking forward to moving some people up myself, and I did. So no real love lost there. But all right, fair enough. Straight and forward to the point. Phil, are you around for your thoughts on the Hall of Fame tokens swap and the talent up changes?
So, yeah, the Hall of Fame tokens, I don't really care, to be honest. I haven't really given it a second thought. It doesn't make too much difference to me, to be honest. And again, you know my thoughts on the talent up. I think they should have left it with the 120 mil. I was also one of those people that got the memo a bit later. And I spent a whole load of my prize wall medallions on coins and TP to try and max it. And I've spent $1 billion, whereas you and others, not naming others, were able to do it with 120 mil. They should have just left it. It wouldn't have. It's not going to hurt their pockets to have left it as it was, right?
Yeah.
And then, in the interest of fairness and equality and whatever that drum they keep banging on about, it's not. Also, no one's mentioned the compensation. The first one was an insult. The second one, okay, thanks for the extra shards, but it still wasn't the equivalent of nearly 1 billion coins.
Yeah, it was it was definitely a tough one. I get where you're coming from on that, Phil. I know that you took a hard hit on that one in terms of your coins, to put it very kindly. That talent up in particular was a real bad one-off, I think, for most people that didn't get to take advantage of it. So it was a bad one, right? As a standalone, that talent up was pretty stinky, to put it fairly kindly. So I was not thrilled with that. That being said, if that is the way that talent up is going to go moving forward, like if those are the changes that we're going to have moving forward, maybe if we take out the whole coin aspect of how it kind of screwed people over that one time, maybe it is easier, maybe it's not easier. That's more what I would like to see, what is going on, and I guess what everybody's thoughts are. But I guess only time will tell on that one. Envy, talk to me about your outlook on the Hall of Fame token changes.
So, as I've stated plenty of times before, my token resources in Powerhouse and Striker in particular are super low. And the tokens I got tons of, or had tons of, were the Hall of Fame tokens. So when the new Hall of Famers come out, I say, oh man, that's somebody I could take up if I want to. Now it's like, oh, now they better not come out with any good Powerhouse or Strikers. And soon enough, the Showboat's going to be in the drought. Everybody's going to be in the drought because I'm taking everybody up because I'm a whale. But then, come to the talent up, I was ready. I was super ready to take all the people I got up this month. We was maxing this talent up regardless. And then I pressed the button to halfway take backs up, and I was done. I said, wait, that wasn't the plan. I didn't even need this talent up. That wasn't the plan.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so at that time I had like 7 billion coin. Then, today, right now, this very moment, I got 4.5 billion coin. Ask me why. Because I still had to take people up.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I took them up. I wanted to take them up, but that was really no reward, and it was a weird feeling of, oh, the game is draining me, but I'm draining myself, and it's no good to drain yourself. You want somebody else. You want to feel like somebody else drained you. So yeah.
I can respect that, Envy. Oh man. Well, yeah. I will talk very briefly about the token changes. I think that it's just fine. I don't think that there's really a need for any of those excess tokens in the game. I was never really a fan of the excess tokens in the game. I never liked them in the first place. I thought they were useless, to put it kindly. So I'm happy that they are finally going poof. That's fine with me. Doesn't I guess like hurt me in any way that they're going away. So I'm hopeful that they will stay away and that there's no reason or need to bring them back. All that being said, as numerous people here have mentioned, it would have been very nice if we were provided with an exchange for those tokens, instead of just, okay, they're gone and you have no idea what you're going to exchange them out for. You don't know if you should have taken somebody up beforehand. You don't know if you kind of missed out because you didn't move somebody prior to the change. There was no breakdown of what the exchange was going to be, and that is very frustrating. Like, very, very frustrating. That being said, the changes in the talent up, I'm not really concerned or bothered with them as of yet, is what I'd like to say. The one talent up that we had was essentially maxable because there was an issue with the coins, and if you spent 100 million coins or something around that range, I forget what the exact number was, but if you spent 100 million coins, you essentially maxed out the talent up for that alone, and you didn't actually have to talent anybody up. So that was definitely not what was intended. I'm sure everybody knows that. And it was a very frustrating experience for a lot of players, as has been mentioned in this podcast, that it took away a lot of their coins, it took away a lot of their resources, and it didn't really feel fair. And the compensation they gave out was also not the greatest, to put it very kindly. So definitely a feels bad when it came to that. Hopefully moving forward, the talent up will be easier. Hopefully moving forward, the Hall of Fame token change will not be as big of a deal. And we'll just have our replacement tokens or an exchange token or something like that. That would be kind of nice. But that's all I've got really on the Hall of Fame token side of things. Does anybody else have any comments on the Hall of Fame tokens? No? All right. Let's move onward to the Discord Dev Diary update that they came out with, which they've been doing quite a lot of. So long story short, everything goes through the Discord now. There's really not going to be very many blogs moving forward. There will still be maybe some. I don't know what's going on with the stream side of things as a content creator. I don't know what's going on with the blog side of things as a content creator or as a player. It feels like everything is moving to the Discord. Like I was mentioning before, they are trying to really turn it into a central hub for everything. That's where the forum is now going in terms of feedback. They want you to leave feedback on the Discord threads. This entire Discord is going to be kind of your headquarters for the game. So make sure to join, leave your feedback there if you actually want to be a part of the game. So question in regards to what everybody thinks about the idea that now we really do have a central hub. They're trying to include a contest and event calendar on the Discord instead of on the blog. And they're essentially moving the feedback to the Discord instead of the forum. So we're kind of cutting down from 3 different avenues to just one. Want to hear what everybody's thoughts are on just a kind of a one-stop shop for all this stuff. Shell, why don't you kick us off? Talk to us about your thoughts on the one-stop shop for the Discord.
I like it. Okay. But I was also someone who didn't go to the forum and use the forums. It just, was never appealing to me. I use Discord a hell of a lot. I am on Discord most of the time. So just having just an extra server I could click over to if there's like an announcement or if there's, something going on that I need to check out. Although I could do without flows tags, for everything under the sun. But, I like it.
Okay, fair enough. Straightforward to the point. Bucko.
No, I do want to say, like, I don't like the lessening of the blogs, though. Like, I did like the blogs, having that out there, and then having to go to the Discord to get that as well. I don't know. I did like the feel of the blogs because I felt like they were better and more in depth to be able to explain things. I don't like that they're going to be not maybe doing them away, but not having as many. But overall, I think the Discord will be a positive thing. It's just getting used to, because they use those weird like threads, like where things like are like sorted differently, kind of like the forums. That's kind of weird. But overall, it's just gonna take some getting used to, I guess.
Yeah, I'm hopeful that it's something that moves in the right direction. I'm very, very hopeful for that. It seems like they're trying at the very least, so at least there's that. Bucko, talk to me. Love to hear your outlook on our new Discord stuff.
I actually like the new Discord stuff myself because I don't like using the forum personally. It was just extra clicks to do extra stuff that I couldn't be bothered doing. Now I can go to the Discord, put my thoughts somewhere, and it will get read. As for the blogs, I don't like the fact that they're not going to do in-depth ones anymore because I like to know the breakdown of points and stuff coming my way so I can work out like how far I'll get and if I want to spend a cheeky bit of money or no.
So you kind of like how it's all a one-stop shop now instead of needing to go to 3 different places.
Yeah, much prefer it.
All right, I can dig it. B-Rock, talk to me. What's your thoughts on our one-stop shop?
I hate it.
Okay.
I hate it. So part of what makes us a really good community is the engagement. So Merrick's, you, DJ, at the time, Professor, Davey D, everybody. You stream, you interact, you're the voice. I'm gonna use it. You're the voice of the voiceless. So you all are in there. You're interacting with people real time. People get excited for Thursday at 8:00 for the blog reveal. So you just took all of that away. Here, read this. Okay, that's a hell of a lackluster presentation.
Yeah.
People got excited for the blog because, and I'm gonna just say it, Professor did such a wonderful job with the swerves and everything else. The engagement was really popular, very hype. Champions chat. Sorry, fellas, forgot you there, but everybody brings something to the table, and people get to engage on Twitch. Now, it's gone.
Yep.
It's gone. This is like getting socks and underwear for Christmas. Yes, it's a gift, but is it a gift that we really want? No. Let's sit around and read.
Yeah.
But wait, we're not going to interact with each other. That's the thing. We're not going to interact with each other. We're just going to sit around and read separately. Or, hey, how did you grow your content creator profile? Because you're out there with the people. The people then follow you. The people jump in. Then now all of a sudden you grew your Discord. You grew your popularity based upon interaction with the people. So Scopely is now hindering that because they want to be a bunch of jerks.
Well, that's not very
And
nice to
then
call them a bunch of jerks, B-Rock. Come
oh,
on.
it's so true. Because now, what do you do when you want? Let's really get to the crust of it. When you want to get something out to the people, why didn't you just stick it in? Why didn't Scopely just stick it in the Discord, right? No, what did they do? They went on Twitch with Gerson as the face and had the reveal.
Mm-hmm.
It's just asinine. Asinine. I'm not blaming it on Furpo, and I'm not blaming it on Gerson. But somebody needs common sense training. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can literally just say, hey, you know what? This is this. This is this. These people are bringing you business. They're bringing you, more customers, so to speak. So let's not do that, which makes no sense. It's free advertising. Most people have instant gratification. I love Shell. Shell's got Squirrel. Shell will sit there and watch a vlog, but she's not going to sit there and read 4 pages of Discord.
So, not a fan of the
biting
changes.
Not a fan. No, not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. And if they're listening, you guys are schmucks.
Jesus, B-Rock.
Bob, they got me on the right day, buddy. Got me on the right day.
All right. Well, B-Rock, very, very loud thoughts on our Discord changes. Fair enough. I don't know what to say about that. Phil,
I know you can't say B-Rock, you're right. I understand that you can't say B-Rock, you're right. Okay? That's why I'm saying it. That's why I'm saying it, because let's really talk about it. Mondays, you had Bob in the Merricks. Great. Then Tuesdays, you had Professor, and sometimes Merrick. Like, it's entertainment plus you're growing the game. So now, instead of having that, even if it's only like 100 people in there, you're still growing the game. You still have people talking about it, because the people who are in there say, hey, did you see what happened on Bob's stream? Yeah. It's hilarious, because guess what? For the people who, if you really want to know if it works or not, Bob, I believe you had an iconic stream one time where, hey, this is how people are cheating. And what did they do? They shut you down because they know you were reaching people.
Yeah, I remember.
Slim talked about that last night on his stream. Said his first stream he ever watched.
Was that really the first stream he ever watched? That's great.
That's what he said. That's what he said last night.
What a horrible experience to watch a streamer and then they get shut down. Oh, Lord. Well, I'm sorry for that. Oh, man. Yeah, so some very strong thoughts about moving everything to the Discord. I was not expecting all that today. Let's go to somebody else on our podcast here. Thank you for the thoughts, B-Rock. I appreciate it. Phil, I don't think I asked you about our Discord move. Any
Seriously,
thoughts from you?
Follow that.
Yeah, big time.
Follow that.
Big time.
It seems a little short-sighted. I can't see a world where they're going to have a Discord server that's going to have the same outreach as what they had previously. I mean, if they prove me wrong, then fair enough, but I don't see it really. Agree pretty much with everything B-Rock said. I do miss... Twitch doesn't seem as lively as it was. There's not the same... I enjoyed the content creator community that we had before. I mean, there was something out there for everybody, and I liked that there was a bit of variety. If one stream wasn't for you, there was always somebody else that you could catch up on. But yeah, I do miss that. Yeah, I don't really have anything to add that hasn't already been said.
That's fine too. Yeah, that was a tough one to follow up on. Appreciate you trying. B-Rock, I should have had you go last.
I was ready.
Go for it, Envy. I'm happy to pass the baton to you on this one. Talk to me. What are your thoughts?
So, any of my family listening, I love socks and underwear on Christmas. So, when y'all hear this in November, just know y'all can still go out there and get those socks and underwear. But, yeah, I mean, I particularly am not on that Discord. I refuse to be because I'm spoiled. How am I spoiled? Got a great faction. They tell me all I need to know. And then I got the champions, hub. They tell me a lot of stuff. So I really feel like I need them. I don't really want to interact with them too much. So I'm just out on the sidelines. Y'all got it. And I think whatever they do, they're gonna do. It's not really gonna be me that changes the world. But like B-Rock said, because B-Rock put the word out, the streams is what it's about. And the fact less streams is not a good thing. Because I'm from the chat. Everybody know me. I'm from the chat. If you saw me in the chat, you seen them hype cups out there. You knew what it was. You knew what was going down.
Mm-hmm.
And we can't get this agenda moving off the ground if we ain't got no streams. So it's this podcast. Me and this podcast. That's all we got right now. That's how the people gonna see me. It's on this podcast and on my channel. And I miss the people.
Yeah, the people are definitely missing for sure. Look, I'm not gonna tell you.
And I am the people's champ. I keep telling y'all, I'm here for the people. I'm the people's champ. Muhammad Ali's mama's baby's cousin's third nephew's girlfriend gave me a belt.
Muhammad Ali. All right. Well, let's talk about it for a brief moment here. I'm not going to tell anybody that the game has stopped me from streaming. They have not. My own time has been preoccupied to hell and back, dealing with taxes, dealing with a new job, still dealing with a second job, dealing with family stuff, and a flood at the house, an infestation of ants, and everything else under the sun that is going on that you could possibly imagine at the home front is a very difficult experience to try and find time to stream like I once did. That was before I actually had a 9 to 5 and kind of have a 5 to 9 afterwards, in terms of just working incessantly. I would still love to stream, especially with things that are going on like this recently, especially with the hype. But man, it gets to be very tough to try and make myself available for the streams. But yeah, it's definitely been a downfall in terms of how frequently available your favorite streamers or some of your favorite streamers are. Or were compared to how it is now. Coming out of the summer break time, so to speak, it's been tough. It's been very tough to try and find that free time. I wish that I had more, and I was thinking personally about rebranding to a 8 p.m. stream or something like that, like a nighttime stream after work, so that it's not just the typical after reset stream. But that's another type of talk for another type of time, to put it very kindly. But yeah, in regards to everything moving over to the Discord, I'm not opposed to it. I think that it's just fine. I don't think that it's as big of a deal right now. I think that when they actually get everything up and running, that things will be better. I think when they actually get the feedback up and running, things will be better. I think that when they get the blog's information up and running accordingly, people probably don't want to read it all, but to be honest, it might be better for those people too, just because there are so many people that will respond and say, well, why the hell do I need to tune into you? I can just read the blog on my own time. So there's an interesting dynamic there for sure in terms of availability. There's a lot of those folks that just wait for the blog to go live so they can read it themselves. I'm hopeful that things kind of shake out in a better way. I've seen a lot of changes that they are attempting to put forward, and they're attempting to spend that time on trying to make the experience better for the players. Even though it doesn't feel like that all the time, that's for damn sure. So it is a very tough task for them to try and undertake, for sure. But I'm hopeful that it works out. I'm hopeful that everything transitions over, obviously not flawlessly, but as smooth as possible. And that's where my 2 cents on this whole thing are. We also still have a lot to talk about on this podcast, so I ask very cautiously, is there anything that anybody else wants to talk about in terms of the Discord Dev Diary update? Alrighty, let's move onwards. We have the wonderful introduction of a brand new character, and if you know who I'm talking about, then you two are probably very excited. It is the intro of the Birdman himself, Mr. Coco Beware. Coco Beware and Frankie made their way into Champions this past monthly. And this is where, talking about the blog information, this is where it did not feel quite as in-depth as the blogs once used to be, because this was essentially a copy and paste of the Turtles 2.0, the King Gunther, all these types of events. And we really got piecemealed a lot of this information compared to what it should have been, which is just like, hey, look, we copy and pasted our info from the last time and we just renamed things. We couldn't even get that. And that proved to be a very, very tough pill to swallow for a lot of folks, because they wanted that information for this event, and rightfully so. A 10-day event, a brand new character, a brand new skill plate, there needed to be way more transparency in terms of information available, and it was not there. That being said, we do have Coco in the game now. He is an powerhouse for the Legend era in the game. And he is very Blast Gem heavy. The new skill plate along with him, Frankie, is essentially the Blast Gem version of the Yeet plate. So also a very solid skill plate to add to the game. Very curious what everybody's thoughts are. Let's talk about the character and the skill plate, and then we can gauge if we really want to dive into discussing the event. Because there was a lot that went down with the event, plenty of showdowns that went down with the event, the stipulation tour that went down with the event, lots and lots and lots of other content too, but let's kind of try and hone in on the character and the skill plate to start with. And I'd like to, I'd like to hear from Phil first on this one, so that he doesn't get on my case for not being able to follow up after B-Rock's spouting.
When you were just talking about this topic, I was thinking, I really have literally nothing to contribute to this one. I don't have Coco. Yes, it's great to see a new character in the game. I like the Legends era. That was sort of when I was really into wrestling. I can't talk about Coco. I can't talk about the plate. I have neither. Come back to me next time.
Any desire to get either of them?
For free, sure. I mean, I tried.
Okay,
I'm not going to open my wallet for either of them, though.
Very, very fair.
I did actually. I will mention the Stip Tour thing was quite good. I enjoyed that. It got me thinking a bit more than I normally do. I typically use characters in this game that are just click, 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 and done. So to have a bit more strategy and a reward that was worth playing for, that was fun. I enjoyed that.
Okay, got it. So enjoyed the event, probably a little bit more than most, but
yeah. I mean, are we talking about the showdown bit here as well?
Sure,
I speak
go for
for
it.
everybody in Europe, where saying having it finish at 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, that sucks. There's got to be a better time that suits. I know you're not going to find anything that's perfect for everyone, but especially on a school night as well. The European guys were up at 2-3 o'clock in the morning to try and hold on to first place or second place or third, whatever position you were aiming for. And then, I mean, I was late to work 2 or 3 times this week already for this, and I still didn't get the plate. So
Yeah, we'll see. That's not good.
no.
And yeah, I can fully agree with you. The timing on that, not great. Not great whatsoever. So that was extra stinky, to put it very kindly. But okay, all right, fair enough. Who else do we have that wants to chime on in with the Coco stuff? Shell, how's about you? Talk to me about Coco and the plate.
All right. We knew he was coming because, the little image and graphic that was shown earlier the month. So we knew he was coming at some point. I was thrilled because that era, the mid to late 80s, early 90s was like my core memories of wrestling, like growing up with it. And I remember I loved Coco Beware and I loved Frankie. I also probably part of the reason I love the British Bulldog too is because he had Matilda. Like, I don't know, I just like the animals. Jake and Damien, it was just great. So I remember I loved Coco, I loved Frankie. So I opened my wallet, and I was lucky enough I pulled him that first day, and I was able to do his tour and get the plate to put right on him. The plate was pretty fantastic. That went right along with those blast gems, and just having him was big help throughout the weekend. The showdowns, I just I had a little showdown fatigue after the first one. Actually, showdowns are probably my least favorite game mode. Again, the strategy behind it, and I totally understand why it's some people's favorites. To each their own. It is not mine. So just to have so many, it felt like one right after the other, was just exhausting to me.
Yeah, there was quite a bit of showdown, to put it fairly kindly. Yeah, I mean, fair enough. Envy, talk to me. Thoughts on Coco and the new plate?
I'm in love with the Coco. And I had to have the plate. So, clearly, I mean, if you've seen my journey, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars went into getting Coco Shard Recruit on the weekend. Getting the plate because I had to get him before the event ended to get that plate the first time. Then I had to come back and fight in the stipulation tour to get to the finals, only to find out I don't got coded. And it takes full 2 megas to get coded. And now they sell them for $25 right now.
Yeah.
Whoop. I tell you, I was mad, but I got him, and I got another plate, and I almost tripled down because I did so much stuff that I almost had enough for the Coco medallions to get a third plate, but I was 100 short, and I wasn't gonna spend another 100 to get it. But we out here with the plate, we out here with Coco, we out here doing things that we shouldn't be doing. And was it worth it? Yeah, it was my birthday month.
All right, fair enough. So, I mean, you obviously got it. You're enjoying it.
Oh yeah, I mean, I got the plate on Coco. I put the plate on Fatu. I mean, it didn't do a lot, but it's on Fatu, and he won. He didn't lose, so there's that. He didn't lose, and that's all that matters. So we got the plate out here. We got both plates active because we can't let them go to waste. we got everybody doing things, and I can say that I'm happy with Coco. He's only 6-star bronze because, as you know, not 6-star silver because, as you know, those powerhouse tokens are scarce in these streets. So he gets it done at 6-star silver. So as long as he can get it done at 6-star silver, I'm fine. He might stay there forever. But I got him. I'm happy with him. I was a Coco fan too. Everybody get up. Everybody get down. The Birdman's in town. Bird, bird, bird. Bird, bird, bird. Yeah, so I needed it in my life. I wanted it in my life. Come put it in my life.
Okay.
I'm going to keep it in my life.
Okay. All right. And Envy has absolutely derailed this entire thing. Sweet.
Sorry.
No worries. Appreciate it, Envy. McMenemy, talk to me. Thoughts on Coco? Thoughts on the plate? Any thoughts altogether about our new addition to the game?
You could just call me Phil 2.0 when it comes to that. Didn't get Coco, didn't get the plate, would like the plate, would like the other, would like Coco for free, and I will not get into the showdown because that really fucking annoyed me. But I had to do what I had to do so that I'd score points for the faction, so there is that.
Well, yeah,
Wasn't fucking amused about it though. Wasn't amused about it, but done it. Got some nice things at the pools, and that's about all I'm saying on that shit.
Fair enough. I can respect that too. Yeah, I will say the overnight hours, whatever you want to call it, so to speak, for the showdown, not a good experience for a lot of folks out there. That's for damn sure. So, yeah, tough one for sure when it comes to the showdown stuff.
It's the 2 a.m. finish, followed by, oh, by the way, here's a flash food that's also going to start at 2 a.m.
Yeah, not
thanks, Scope.
Yeah, not great there. To put it very kindly. B-Rock, your thoughts on our boy Coco?
So during this podcast, I'm pretty much on demon time. And I refrain from answering anything about this in order to stay happily married.
But are you sure?
Oh, most definitely sure.
Oh, okay. All right.
We'll just
enough.
say I don't have Coco. I don't have Frankie. I think I ended up with, out of all the medallions, I think I ended up with like 400. That kind of, we'll just leave it at that.
Fair enough. I'll hop in on this one then. Sure, why not? Let's talk about it. Coco, great character. Very solid addition to the game. He looks very fun. He plays very fun. I don't know how much people are going to use him after the 99 MP wears off, but he's a fun character. And the Frankie plate is just absolutely top notch. A blast version of the Yeet is just magnificent. I love those types of plates. They actually bring life back into certain characters that are typically not very good. So always a nice addition to have those on the roster. And even if you don't have one right now, the idea that you'll be able to get one in the future is also pretty fantastic. So not to say that everybody's sitting around here with a dozen Yeet plates, but there's been a chance to get one or two or a couple of them since the release of the Yeet plate. So hopefully there will be some players out there who will be able to get themselves a Frankie plate based on that same exact metric, right, where they are available. Again, doesn't mean that this is going to be the easiest thing. No, doesn't mean that it's going to be the most smooth experience for someone to acquire one. Probably not. But that being said, it will be available at some point down the road. So I am hopeful for most out there that they will be able to get themselves a Frankie plate. The showdown side of things, yes, it was an experience, to put it very kindly. Showdown after showdown after showdown after showdown. It was a lot. It was a lot. The experience was different, was very interesting. For me, as someone who reads the blog, I couldn't do showdown towards the end of the most recent one because I was too busy streaming and reading the blog. So that was my own experience. That being said, the other one beforehand, I'm not really a fan of the way that this worked this time around. The loot coin payout is fine. I don't have any issue with that. What I have an issue with is being in the same faction as somebody else and in the same bucket as somebody else in my faction when the event for notoriety pays out loot coins, and then there is a corresponding event for how many loot coins you and everybody in your faction spends. That I did not like, because if I'm in a bucket with somebody else in TNM and I would have gotten first place and they got second place, that is less loot coins for the faction as a whole, rather than me being in bucket number 1 getting first place, them being in bucket number 2 and getting first place, and now we both get a first place reward of coins for the faction. So I don't like that setup, that atmosphere, whatever terminology or words that you'd like to use. I'm not a fan of that whatsoever. I really think that was poorly designed. The amount of damage that needed to get done during that showdown of, I think it was 170 billion damage as a faction with all the different characters, with Cena and Drew and Roman and Walter or Gunther, like, you're talking about billions upon billions upon billions upon billions of damage, which was an insane experience in its own right, and then no faction even maxed it. That was not cool. That was not fun. That was a real bad experience for a lot of people. So just a different approach and a different experience, I think, that they could have taken when it came to the showdown stuff that was going on there. So could have been better, for sure. And then in regards to the Stip Tour, I'm sure many of you saw, I definitely did a fantastic job on the Stip Tour for the final day on Hell Mode. Hysterically enough, I never got my reward for getting first place, so I'm still pretty peeved about that. And I'm going through the proper support channels to try and make sure that I get that reward, which is really annoying to have to go through. But nevertheless, Stip Tour, I like when it makes you use your brain. I like when it makes you think. I like when you could strategize and kind of, leverage the people that you know in terms of those that are smart about the game to get help and better yourself at the game. Kind of like what Shell was talking about earlier, that she gets help from people in our faction that help her get better at the game. That's the same exact thing that you should do during these points in times when there's a strategic component to the game. Of use that point in time, use that moment to try and better yourself, to try and learn the game better. And that is an experience that I enjoy. As odd as that might sound to some, I really enjoyed it. As for the prize walls were what they were. I made my little prize wall video on them and showed you what I was going to get. I wasn't really stressing over the new Michelle McCool gear. It is what it is. If I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't. But Coco's fun. The plate is fun. The 10-day event, I enjoyed the 10-day event. I did not enjoy kind of the lack of information about it. The showdown was just a bit too much for me with the way that they did it. And the Stip Tour was enjoyable because it got you thinking. So that's that kind of sums up my outlook on the whole Beware and Birdman set of events.
Can I pop in for a second?
Yeah, go for it, Shel.
So, in conjunction with some of the stuff you were saying, I thought the prize balls were fantastic. The for both contests, they had a wide variety of characters and moments and shards and just things that I feel like were very helpful to all sorts of accounts. Normally, like again, whale problems, first world problems, whatever you want to call them, like I have a huge roster because I am a spender. So usually I see prize balls and I kind of just skim them and I'm like, okay, I'll just get whatever shards or whatever is going to help bump up, my shard counts. But these were great. Like there was stuff on there that I could use, things that I may not have had, or things that, even though I may have already, other people are really wanting these. So I thought that the prize balls were fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And a second follow up to what you were talking about, the stip tour. I love the stip tours, like even the regular ones. Like I'm not good with strategy, but I like puzzles. So, and you may think, aren't they the same thing? They are not the same thing. Okay. I see the stip tours as more of like a puzzle. And those I kind of get. And especially like when I could pick the brains of some really great people. So I kind of like these. And then, things happened. And Scopely made the announcement that they were going to, anybody who tied for the 100th place was going to get the plate. Cool, that was great. And then I ended up in 101st place. Now, 100, 101, and 102 all tied. So I'm like you, I should be getting the plate, but I didn't get it, which makes sense because, they probably weren't coded to be able to give it out automatically to more than 100. So I went through the channels with, submitting a ticket and seeing how that all goes. But yeah, overall, like I said, I liked that stip tour thing. I wish it was a little bit more variety throughout that week instead of just like the same thing every day. Like, oh hey, let's see this blast gems, and it was just like every single, you had the same character. You just there was like no kind of like variety to that. That would have been cool. But fine.
All right. I can dig it. Anybody else on our Beware of SummerSlam or the Birdman events or prize walls or anything else along those lines before we move on to our boss battle talks?
Big shout out to the prize wall for that 199. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh yes, the immortal moment. Yeah. Yeah, speaking of that prize wall, if you haven't done so already, definitely go ahead and buy your items because that prize wall is going down very soon here at reset time. All right, let's go ahead and move onwards. We got the boss battle against Naomi. So also part of that Beware of SummerSlam contest and event and all that stuff, there was a boss battle in the mix where yellow gems, crossbreak gems, and multiply gems were all increased in terms of their damage from the boss battle. So very interested to hear what everybody's experience was this boss battle. Last time we had a King Kong Bundy, and he was not very good with his boss battle. However, this time we had a Becky Lynch who was absolutely fantastic for this boss battle, is what my understanding was. I would love to hear what everybody else's thoughts were on our boss battle. Bucko, why don't you start us off this time? Talk to me about boss battle thoughts.
Oh, I like boss battle. It's my favourite game mode in the entire game. Beatable by a lot of people, not just Becky, but I'm using TNM, so it'll get slapped out in like 4 minutes for me. What I don't like about that boss battle is there was no faction event. Do not call it a faction boss, and do not have a fucking faction event with it. That just pisses me off. It should have just been called solo CSS boss, not faction boss.
I
Otherwise,
mean,
it was great.
yeah, fair enough. That's a solid point. Phil, talk to me. Faction boss thoughts.
This is a sore one for us in TNM. Finishing outside the top 10 in any event is not good. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm still on a bit on the fence with it about the making the A tier character the key to it. I used to like it where you had to think a bit more outside the box with it. Like with Menemy, it's one of my favorite, probably my favorite game mode in the whole game too. But making it sort of each boss built around the A tier character sort of gives everyone the secret sauce. I like the really early bosses where they were a lot more challenging and you had to have a lot more strategy and a lot more thinking went into it. It's like anyone who's been in one of the top factions before with those early bosses will remember there was sort of like a 20-minute, half-hour period where everyone was figuring out what worked, and then the race was on to finish. That was the best bit about boss battle for me, and I think we've lost that. As long as you've got the A tier character, interesting. So you know straight away, use that character, you'll be fine, and then get your carries and you're done. It's not the same. So when I say boss battle is my favorite game mode, I guess it used to be. I don't like it as much anymore.
What's your favorite game mode now? Also, real quick, is anybody else hearing my mic cutting in and out?
Yeah, a little bit.
Interesting.
I assumed it was my side, but if someone else has mentioned it, then
No, I guess it's just me. I will sit closer to the microphone here. Hopefully that'll fix it. What else is your favorite game mode now, Phil?
I detest them all equally. I don't know. Yeah, I preferred boss battle like it was. Like I said, with a bit of strategy to it, and actually having rare stuff and powerful stuff made it a bit better. Like say, when they say it's the A tier character is going to be the what you need to unlock, then I guess it levels the playing field. But we don't want a level playing field.
Shell, talk to me. Boss battle thoughts.
I have said many times that boss battle is my favorite mode.
Mhm.
I do enjoy it. I would enjoy it a lot more if people showed up on time. You know, we have all the, it's insanely frustrating, understandably, when you have all of the keys, all of the pieces in place, but then at the very end, you can't maneuver everything because somebody's not there to get their skulls in.
Mhm.
Frustrating. But you live, you learn, you move on, and you try to, build yourself a better team going forward. A lot of people don't like female bosses. I freaking love them. I am also much like you, I have every female in the game. I I love them. I think they're great. Sorry. Yeah, I'm done.
No, you're fine. I
I always feel like I give you short answers.
Well, then.
And then I answer, I'd be like, yep. And then Bob makes fun of me for it later on.
No, look, I mean, this is that's how you feel about the situation, right? So then that's how we'll leave it, right? Nothing wrong with that. I will say, obviously, yes, it is a frustrating experience with boss when people don't show up. I think that's more of a TNM type of experience that most everybody has kind of left their feedback on in this podcast because, yes, we definitely had an issue with that this past boss. That's frustrating, no doubt about it. But as for boss altogether, I don't think that takes away from boss as a whole, right? I don't think that takes away from boss as what it was or the fact that you had to use Becky or Asuka or whoever. Boss itself seemed to have flowed pretty smoothly in that regard. So that's more along the lines of what I was referencing. And, obviously it can be frustrating, not just for us, but for your faction out there too. If you're, gonna have to go up against the boss with only 97 people or 93 people or whatever, and you're just waiting for your people to show up. That's more of an indictment on the boss mode as a whole. That is not a very good mode, if that's the case, right? So that can be and is very frustrating for sure. Boss for me was fine. I had no problems with it. I showed up. I was with family. I got my bosses done, and then I proceeded to go back to family. So I was content with that. That didn't bother me one bit. I got my CSS done the following day, helped other people get their CSS done the following day. So that was good altogether for me. Didn't really feel like anything out of the ordinary for a boss battle weekend. B-Rock, talk to me about your boss battle experience, and then we'll head on down to Envy for his boss battle experience against Striker Naomi.
So, boss battle experience, it actually seemed like Asuka was the carry more so than Bex.
Okay.
You know, and I think we got caught up with that initial announcement of whoever the 3,000 recruit is going to be the one that should I don't want to say solo the boss battle, but that person is going to be the clutch one that's needed. And I just think that this one was a little bit more open for most people, which I'm all about. I'm all about the average player getting a chance to play at a high level, and have a good time. So no big complaints in regards to boss battle. I think this one was done fairly well. There was multiple options in order to get it done.
All right, so seems like a pretty standard boss battle for Mr. B-Rock.
Absolutely.
All right, sounds good. Envy, talk to me. Mr. Last but not least himself. Boss battle thoughts. How did it go for you?
Yeah, I think I need B-Rock to lead me in all the time because I forgot who I was using, but Asuka was great. I was able to actually help with the carries. It felt good. But like was said earlier, the thing about boss battle is the group competition, faction competition. And not having a faction competition, having all the CSS be solo, despite me having them, it was still like it didn't feel like what you would want. Because you want to lean on your faction. You want to know your faction got your back. That when you got something out there that you need to accomplish, that you got your faction there. We can all do this together. We just got everybody don't have to have everything, but together in faction boss week we can knock these tasks out. And sure, there's always a solo aspect to it, but it feels better when we're doing it together. Because at least you can feel like you're doing your part in the faction when you got something that other people don't have, and that's the part that I get the most out of in boss battles. Feeling like I'm producing somewhere, some way.
Yeah, it always feels nice when you know that you're contributing to a part of a team, right? And yeah, I think the lack of faction event along with boss battle here was a major turnoff in that regard. So I can see how frustrating that could be and would be, to put it kindly. I mean, look, for me it made the experience easier. That's all I can say. It definitely didn't hurt to be able to kind of just go ahead and spend the time with the family on the weekend without needing to feel that attachment, so to speak. All that being said, that's what we got for Boss Battle. Anybody else on anything else for Boss Battle before we move forward? I don't think there's much to talk about there. But maybe we'll be able to talk about this one next, and you guys can let me know what you think about Riptimus in July, because that was a thing. Everyone was looking forward to their Christmas in July with Santa Hogan. And yeah, that was an experience, to put it kindly. But Santa Hogan back in the game. Unfortunately, obviously, we all know what has happened to Hogan himself very recently. Rest in peace to Hogan. I know that some people are maybe not a huge fan of his. That being said, doesn't mean that we should be spitting on anybody's grave. So, yeah, unfortunately, Hogan has passed away, and I'll leave my quick little 2 cents here. I think that's the only reason that we got a Ripped Miss in July event. I don't think they were planning on doing anything for it, and I think the format of the event kind of alluded to that. There was essentially nothing going on for the event besides it just being a glorified spend event. If I'm wrong, then by all means, hopefully somebody can clear that up and let me know what they think too. But to me, this just felt like a fancy spend event. What was everybody's thoughts on Ripped Miss in July? Let's you know what? Let's start with B-Rock. Let's go back to B-Rock again. Love to hear your thoughts on our strict spend events here, B.
Okay, so the amount of thought that you put into that intro is the amount of thought that Scopely put into the event.
I feel a little slighted, but okay.
No, you know why? Because you literally did that intro off the top of your head. You spoke about Hogan passing, okay? Whoever's personal feelings aside, whatever. But that's literally what I feel it was. It was whatever. And the crazy thing is if you had anybody, I think it was five-star bronze or higher, you couldn't get to the next level anyway. There was not enough tokens to get you to the next level if you needed them.
You're talking about without spending.
Without spending.
Correct.
There wasn't. So, all right, let me do this tour and this blitz. And I didn't get halfway to where I needed to be. Oh, that was fun. That was a great time. You know what? That is a good 36 minutes and 48 seconds that I'll never get back again. But I think that's kind of just what it was. I think that sometimes, and I've said it before, Scopely tries to reinvent the wheel. You've had some mainstays. Keep the mainstays, even the ones I don't like. I hate Hall of Fame month, but there's a Hall of Fame month. There's supposed to be Christmas in July. You've had it for the last, 5 years?
Give or
Give
take.
You have Zombie Month in October. There's certain mainstays that you've had, and there's no reason to try to reinvent the wheel. Just, you're getting results. Stop doing stupid stuff. That's my opinion.
All right. I can respect it. Chill, talk to me. Ripped Miss in July weekend. What's your thoughts on that one?
Honestly, when you mentioned it, I had to be like, what? I don't remember. That's just how much of a flash in the pan it was. I did the blitz. I was able to, what did I get? I got like the 1,000 Santa Hogan Evo tokens. And that was it. I really wanted, whose gear was it? Was Punk's gear? Punk's gear wasn't on there, was it?
I can't remember now.
Because I think it's Cody's. Maybe it was Cody's, and I
Cody's
needed.
gear was definitely on there.
I was like, I think Cody and Punk's are like the 2 gears that I really need, and neither one of them were within striking distance. And yeah, that wasn't anything that I was really hyped about spending money on, so I didn't. It was, did what was like much like what B Rock just said. Did what was there and just moved on.
All right. Bucko, wanna chime in on our Santa Ripped Mist event?
I mean, the notes say 1K tokens, pathetic, prize ball, pay to get fucking anything. That was about that.
All right, straightforward and to the point. I can respect it. Yeah, so pretty much a nothing burger event for you as well.
I mean, I got enough to take Santa Hogan 5-star silver.
There you go.
But that's because I busted my ass the other 5 years trying to get his fucking token.
Yeah, why not, right? Oh, man.
I think you hit the nail on the head. It was just a pure, oh shit, Hogan died, let's just throw this out and keep them happy kind of thing.
Yeah, it's a stinky one, to put it kindly. All right, so fair enough there as well. Phil, talk to me about your thoughts on our Santa Hogan Riftmas in July weekend contest.
You all better watch out, because mine now does an extra 1,200 damage. I mean, yeah, it was you mentioned before that it was another paid event, but that's pretty much what this character is. I don't think there's another character I can think of who's more heavily paywalled. Obviously, with the unique upgrade and all the rest of it, is unique tokens. Bit of an odd event. I mean, the freebie to the inbox was nice, but that was more about the passing than the Rittmas in July thing.
Right, 100%.
Speaking specifically about the event, there's not a great deal to say.
Yeah.
It'll come around again at Christmas. It'll be another disappointment then as well.
That is fair. All right, and last but not least, we got Envy. Envy, your outlook on our Rippedmas in July event.
So I couldn't get anywhere. I was in that dead zone where, I couldn't get anywhere for free. So I just pretty much disregarded the event. I don't even remember what happened. I didn't pay into it. So I went in, I went out. I didn't move my Hogan a bit because he's in that little dead zone of 5-star bronze, and I skipped last year, so he's definitely in the dead zone. He may never. Oh, but that's a bad word. Whatever. He's in a zone where I can't move him up.
So, not without spending some sizable investment.
Yeah, and I don't care that much. He's not that useful.
I mean, yeah, the use comes out of the +1 MP side of things, and I think everything else has just become secondary at this point, right? And I think everybody's kind of on the same page with that as well. All right, I mean, yeah, look, I'll toss my hat in the ring. Rippedmas in July event was very mediocre. There was no real reason for it to be so bland. Again, I don't think that they intended to have it. I think he passed away, and then they were like, well, yep, now we need to have something. That's at least how it felt. That's how rushed it felt. It felt like this is a spend event. Here's a blitz you can, play and get a couple of extra stuff for. If you want to maybe buy some more blitz tickets, no problem. And we got a loot for you that doesn't feed into anything else, and if you want some points, then you can spend the loot coins. You get maybe a couple of prize wall. I mean, the prize wall was unintuitive. There was 6 items, and they were essentially all Christmas gears, and they were either 1, 2, or 3 prize wall, right? So that's all there was to it. It was just, hey, here you go, slap a Christmas logo on this, and let's move on past this. I would have loved to have gotten the Cody gear. Didn't. I would have loved to worked up my Santa Hogan to 6-star gold at this point in the game, but didn't, as everyone else has alluded to, right? Like, moving them up is essentially impossible. I'm still shocked at this point that after getting rid of the Hall of Fame tokens, they're still keeping the Santa Hogan tokens. I figured that would have been something next on the hit list to get rid of. but that is obviously not happening anytime soon, which is a shame, to put it very kindly. So yeah, that is kind of what it is in this situation. Just another part of the weekend and move on, instead of it being something special or memorable, which again, just a shame, just a shame. All right, nothing else to kind of dwell on there. Let's go ahead and move on to our weekend event. We have the Double Slam in Jersey, a brand new character in the game. It is Rey Fenix, the hybrid luchador. When I saw this, I really thought he was going to be 2 classes, just because of the way they introduced him as the hybrid. So thought that was a little interesting and was kind of let down. Oh, I'm super choppy now? Hold on. I even retried to unplug and replug the microphone back in. Is it better now, Phil? Let's test this. 1 2. Testing 1 2.
Yeah, I heard all of that, but I don't know if it's the same for everyone else. Please tell me if it's only my side. But yeah, I missed a hell of a lot of what you just said.
Yeah, it sounded kind of scratchy, like up.
All right. Well, that does not do good for podcast audio. All right,
Like right now, you're fine.
Yeah, you're fine since we
Okay.
flagged it. You've been alright.
Interesting. All right. Well, let's dive right back into it then. So let's talk about our weekend event, Double Slam in Jersey, with the new Rey Fenix. The Rey Fenix is in the game. He is the hybrid luchador. Again, was very, very odd to me that they came out with such a name like calling him the hybrid luchador, but that he was still 1 class instead of 2 classes. I was really hoping that, he would be something like a 2-class character, but that was not the case. So very odd to me that they would give him such a weird nickname. But nevertheless, he's in the game. He is quite substantial in terms of being a strong character, and probably one of the best coaches that we've had in a long time. For those of you that remember King Woods, who gives 50% for bleed on traps and jugs and countdowns and all that stuff as a coach, Rey gives 100%. So top-notch coach, very good fighter. Looking forward to trying to recruit him this weekend myself. So what I'd like to ask, and we can definitely talk about hype because that is next on the hit list too, and that is kind of part of this weekend as well. Has anybody had a chance to look at Rey Fenix this weekend, or is everybody still kind of encapsulated with hype? If you have had a chance to look at Rey Fenix, feel free to let me know what you think about him as a fighter and a character. And if not, and we're all just kind of focused on hype, or hyper-focused on hype, I should say, which is also totally fine, then we can go ahead and transition into that. I know, again, like I mentioned earlier, I have not gotten a video out on Rey Fenix just yet. But yeah, that's in the making. There's been a lot of content this weekend, and the Rey Fenix preview, as many other content creators have done out there, has not been on my hit list for things to rush out and do. So want to hear what everybody's thoughts are on the weekend. Envy, why don't you start us off? I saw that you've already unmuted, so you must be roaring to go on this one.
Yeah, so I was actually waiting on the two Rey Fenix preview. So I haven't seen him in action, but I've looked at him. I've looked him over. I gave him a look-see. And he's a crossbreak guy. So here's a crossbreak monster. So, but I'm not interested. My birthday month is over. I am back to being a normal person. I will swim with the guppies from now on.
Okay.
But they did trick me into getting the 350 shards, so I got 350 of them. But other than that, I mean, we're fine. I feel like the way it's looking over these past few months, it's like the following weeks or so, the shards have been heavy available. So as long as I do well fighting this feud, which I'm putting in this work, because I got top line gen on these streets, Oh, that actually, let's go there. That's what I'm happy about. Is these top line bonuses, other than the Ray Phoenix bonus I didn't have. Woo! Rest of these feuds, I'm up there, top lining the rest of the way. So I love that. Like I said, I'm fighting to get Ray Phoenix the hard way. So it's going to be feuding. It's going to be prize walls. It's going to be whatever I got to do to get him. Just like I'm going after, the guy's name. What's his name? Kamala. I'm almost there on Kamala. I'm like 300 away from, or like 200 away from Kamala. So I'm going to try to make that same path for Ray Phoenix. When I get him in the clutches, he's going to be a great coach. So I'm going to love that. So I love his coaching ability. I feel like he can do some damage. He'll fit into the roster, but not today. We're going to play the slow game with this one.
All right. I can dig it, Envy. I can dig it. Shell, talk to me. Have you seen anything about Ray Phoenix yet? If not, talk to me about what your feuded experience has been like so far.
Nope, I have zero clue about Ray Phoenix.
All right.
Was mostly focused on the hype, trying to get my feud lineup set, get my strategies out there because I work at night, it's on the weekends. So it's like everybody starts feuding and dipping their toes into the hype, and I'm at work, so I couldn't start it yet. So I literally got home, jumped in, did some feuding, was up for a while, went to bed, woke up, made my kid breakfast, set up my lineup, and now, we're podcasting. So I have zero idea about this Ray Phoenix. I don't even know who he is in wrestling. Like I'm a wrestling fan. I don't watch it regularly anymore. I watch all the pay-per-views when someone's streaming it, and I know most of the characters. I didn't know who Ray Phoenix was yet, but now I know. He used to be Penta's tag team partner. So cool. He looks cool, but not stressing.
Fair enough. All right. Let's move on. Phil, talk to me. Ray Phoenix feud experience. What's going on with you, buddy?
I've just ran into a couple of our old faction mates, and I'm sat here with a huge smile on my face, knowing what a miserable time they're having against me. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's good. I mean, do you want to talk about the sort of pay-to-win aspect? That's the bit that they've hyped up, really. Either spend money or it's going to suck. I mean, quite interested to see what they do with other game modes. I mean, how is hype going to work in boss and that sort of thing. But yeah, I did open the wallet a little bit, and I'm enjoying the competitive advantage that I'm having at the minute.
What do you mean that you opened the wallet, Phil? I thought that you told me that you had no idea what I was asking you about.
I had no idea. I just pressed a sequence of buttons and then, yeah.
Just hitting a sequence of buttons on your phone, and all of a sudden, some of your characters are more hyped up than the rest. Yeah, I get you on that one. All right, fair enough. Anything on Ray Phoenix?
I haven't even looked.
Okay, fair enough.
I did notice there was a good offer on the portal for him, though. There was 350 shards for 10?
Yes, there is a 350 shard for 10 offer. Yes, there is.
Yeah, we'll see if the wallet opens again, maybe.
All right, we'll see about that one. Bucko, talk to me. Thoughts on Ray Phoenix? Thoughts on your feud experience?
Well, Ray, I thought like you with that name hybrid luchador was going to be double classed, and then it just turns out no, he's an acrobat.
Okay, so not just me. I'm not the crazy one here.
It wasn't just you. I was very disappointed when I looked at him, and then it was just acrobat. I was like, why the fuck did you call him a hybrid then?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not crazy.
Looks like a decent coach. To be honest, I could use it for maybe a couple of people, but let's see about that later, if and when I get him down the line. Feud is... I walked into the very first feud like a nugget with a 300k lineup, not enough hype, and Never in my life have I moved MP coaches about so fucking much.
Yeah, they got you moving the MP left and right, huh? The minus MP coaches.
Oh yes, they did. But I learnt my lesson and said, let's just do what we do all the time. Treat it as a new rarity. So I cut that shit in half. Went to 150k and it's been smooth as fuck since.
Okay, all right. So not horrible.
Nah,
Then
not horrible.
okay, been
It
a
would have been
decent.
horrible if I'd kept running 300k, my coins would have just went, oh, no, no, keep moving. No, had enough of that. Cut that shit in half and just have a smooth sailing feud.
Got it. Okay,
No,
so decent to good feud experience.
Yeah.
Okay, good to hear. And B Rock, talk to me about Ray Phoenix. Talk to me about your feuding experience, and you are why I held off so long in this podcast to bring this up. I would love to hear now, an hour and a half, almost 2 hours into feud, your experience with feud. Talk to me. How are you feeling right now?
So I'm guessing this is the intervention part of the pod. You already know that I'm on demon time, so I'm trying to use proper etiquette and language for this. Previously, I will say this: we had to remember. Okay, Hall of Fames do this. Certain characters do this. Certain other people do this.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have this hype experiment is the word I'm going to use, because I think does shit get you banned? Because that's the word I really want to use.
No, it will not get me banned.
What did it? Okay, so what I'm seeing, I'm just gonna go with what I'm seeing is, if you didn't pay attention to your video and some other people, you kind of jacked up your roster.
Yeah.
And I am. What did you call it, Envy? I puppied it.
Oh, you under puppied it. Yes.
I under puppied it. Oh, I fucked up. Oh, I messed up. I really did. I really did. And I don't know how I'm gonna recover from this. Because I really messed up. This is why I say I'm the average player, because I'm looking here. I had hyped up like 7 people, and this is bad. But I will say that some of the people that I am facing have under puppied it worse than I have, because they all have like 8 people, all with #1 hypes, and I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, this is it's not just me, so I'm happy about that. But I think there are a lot of people who are in a worse boat than I am. A lot of this isn't new for me, because I've always used, when I feuded previous, I've always used class advantage, so this is kind of norm for me when I feud, so it's not a big deal. I will say that if you make a mistake, though, it's a wrap. Cannot make a mistake if you are going against somebody and they end up going first. I think I face a class of people where if they go first, it's over in most cases.
Yes.
So I will say that. I will say it is interesting, and I'm not full on negative because it's interesting. But I think the way it was rolled out was less than informative when The content creators are trying to figure it out a day, really, before the feud.
Oh, there was no day before. It was it was the day of. We only got stuff the same time everybody else got it.
Well, Friday. Yeah. So I'm just looking at it that way, as it's going to be interesting. I think it has potential. Um, Now I'm going to give a shout out, and some of you may not know, but I was a Malcolm Jamal Warner fan, so I was a Cosby kid. There's an episode of Cosby where Vanessa introduces Dabness to everybody, and Bill Cosby says, "Hey, take your favorite meal," and he was like, "Oh, I love a steak." He goes, "Oh, crispy potatoes, mushrooms, onions, and all that," and he goes, "Serve it to you on a trash can lid, not so appetizing." That's what hype has been so far. It's interesting, but it was served to me on a dirty trash can lid the day of a feud, and I think the preparation that I didn't do and some other people didn't do is gonna keep us behind the 8 ball probably for months, unless they do some type of pack that you can kind of recoup what you spent incorrectly. I think that's the only way that a lot of people are going to be able to catch back up.
Got it. Just to confirm, you're regarding the hype part of things, not just your generic feud experience, which is totally fine as well. Hype is something that they, I guess, are releasing in multiple tranches, or whatever word you want to use. So down the line, we will hopefully get a new set of levels for hype. I think there will be a respecking for hype, things like that. So there's going to be another update with it and associated to it. All that being said, hype itself, right? I'll talk about that in a moment. I'm going to go back one point and talk about Rey Fenix very briefly again. I think he's a fantastic character. I think he's super duper strong. I think that his coaching ability is very helpful for a lot of the characters in the game as a bleed coach. Super fantastic in regards to that. And the feud that we have going on, yes, it is in relation to the hype. I myself have definitely gone above and beyond when it comes to this new system, because I don't like falling behind. And therefore I am having a much smoother experience than practically everybody else that I've been talking to about this. So now on to hype. Hype is another beast entirely with this game. Okay, we already have to worry about trainers that are defensive, coaches that are defensive. We have to worry about skill plates that are defensive. We have to worry about reversals that are defensive. Now we have to worry about hype, because hype will also create an environment where you do not go first. And that can be absolutely earth-shattering when it comes to this game. There apparently was a fix that happened between Feud 1 and Feud 2 in terms of the red ringing that would occur. And that red ringing was if you fought someone who was going to turn 1 you, you couldn't get into the game. They would literally just red ring your game out because the system did not know how to address the fact that it's like, hey, this person's going in and he's going to lose. So the system just kind of blanked out. I am hearing and understanding that that has been fixed. I did not personally experience it because I kind of refuse to fight somebody who's a higher hype level than me without having someone that is equal hype level. If I can avoid it, Or I will just tag my feud partner and say, hey, I need you to handle this. Or I'll come in with a minus MP coach or reversal to that character that is such a higher hype level than me that I have no way to counter them. So I have not experienced that red ring issue, but it does seem like that issue has been circumvented or fixed or whatever terminology you'd like to get and use. So that has been a glitch, I think, in the system that has been fixed accordingly. That being said, hype altogether is a very tough topic for a lot of folks. Right now, out the gate, yes, this is a very pay-heavy mode and experience for practically all the players that are playing it. Are there ways around it? Yes, right? If you're going to go in against somebody who's hype level 2 and you have a hype level 0 and that hype level 2 character uses multiply gems, you can use somebody who steals multiply gems purposely to counter them. That being said, that is not the typical experience for most players that they are used to. They are used to going in and winning on turn 1, and it doesn't matter who they are or who they need to use. They can just win with a lot of the characters they have worked up in the past. This, on the other hand, now makes it where in order for you to win on offense, you need to be defensive against your opponent's offense or defense against your opponent's defense. So you need to kind of play against their minus trainers and coaches and skill plates and so on and so forth. You need to play against their reversals with your own reversals. It is adding a lot more thought-provoking experience into the game rather than I have this character I worked up, I go into the game, I click button, I win. Some people absolutely love this, that they feel it's more strategy and they feel that they have to prep their lineup more and all those wonderful things. Other players, obviously not very happy. Maybe they don't like strategy and they kind of wanted a brain-dead game that they've been playing for the past 8 years, give or take. Some other players, you know what? They don't really care if it's strategy or not. They've played the game for just as long, and they have not spent as much money, so they don't have a lot of the good characters that it takes to reverse certain things, or to prep for minus coaches and minus MP and all these types of defensive ways to counter the opponent. So there's a lot of avenues that hype kind of impacts a lot of different players on. Some people love it, some people hate it. Some people love it, and honestly, to me, it's because they feel that the gap is increasing between them and the rest of the player base. Not because it actually makes them think, not because it's strategy. That just feels like a very thin veil to hide behind. That it's like, oh yeah, this is strategy, right? This is such a great addition to the game. I love this. And it's like, no, you kind of just love the fact that you can point and make fun of the people that don't actually think about this, or the ones that do think about it, that they're kind of getting, screwed over in the process. Is my mic still cutting out? Hopefully it's not. If it is, then I'm going to need to yell at HD who got me this mic. So here, let me replug this thing in. Hopefully that's better now. But the experience is very tough for a lot of people out there. Very, very tough. Because this right now is it's all about the spend. That's the way that it works right now. It is strictly all about the spend. So it's a really tough experience for a lot of people that didn't get RNG lucky on the loot with their free 30 pull, or if they spent on hype, if they didn't get lucky with their hype fragments to take up characters that they, wanted to take up. It's really rough. On top of that, besides the whole turn 1 thing, which that's what most people are complaining about and having issues with, my real concern is the other part of this whole hype thing is that there's a damage and defense component to it, right? There's an actual increase on how much damage everything does. Gem damage, move damage, health steal, bleed damage, sub damage, everything under the sun. there's an increase on that. Just like there's a defense that also gives you a defensive component to consider too. So you take a whole lot less damage from certain things. There's no rhyme or reason as to what that number is. There is no scaling. There is no information. There was nothing that we were provided with in order to understand why we do so much damage, why we do so little damage, what the changes are going to be. Like when we got Fury medals and Takedown medals, right? It's like, hey, here's a 20% increase. Okay, that's cool. I can get used to 20% increase. There is none of that here. It tells me that I get plus 100 on toughness and plus 100 on aggression. What the hell does that mean? What does that actually amount to? I get it. My aggression is higher than my opponent by 100. What does that amount to? I have no clue. There is no explanation. There is no breakdown. There's no information. As B-Rock pointed out earlier that we had a day or whatever it is, and I told him, we didn't have any information or any ahead notice. We all got it at the same time it went live for everybody else. And then we don't have it on our content creator accounts. That doesn't exist. We all had to do this on our account. And so that was something that I did. I spent decent money and also spoke to a lot of people in our faction that spent decent money and time and effort to try and understand this game mode better. And it was a very frustrating experience for practically everybody involved. So yeah, this feature, this hype, whatever you'd like to call it, this is a tough sell for a lot of people. Like a lot of people, right? And yes, the way that it's going to be for now is it's going to be a pain because right now it's all the spenders that are getting all the benefit. And it's not just all the spenders, it's all the lucky spenders that are getting all the benefit because not only did they spend, they got lucky and hit certain characters that they could take up to hype level 2 and hype level 3 that are good characters, not just mediocre or middle of the pack characters. And so there's a lot that kind of plays into this whole hype experience, which is a problem. It truly is a problem, because that doesn't allow for a fun experience for the majority of players. That doesn't allow for an enjoyable feud for most of the people. It's an issue that I don't know how it's going to get fixed. I don't know if it'll be rectified. I've spoken with a bunch of people that don't want to play the game anymore or are going to quit or they're not going to spend and all this stuff. And it's like, look, I don't know what to tell any of these people other than that they have to leave their feedback and hope for the best and hope that they listen. Because just yelling into the wind about it gets you nowhere effectively, and it gets you nowhere real fast. So this hype thing, this experience, it's a tough one, and we're only seeing the surface of it right now during Feud. I have no idea how this is going to impact anybody during Boss. I have no idea how this is going to impact anybody during Showdown. But this does not seem like it's going to be a very enjoyable experience. So, I mean, it is what it is. To me, it feels like the only way around this is to make all of your offense defensive. And that seems to be the main way to circumvent this. Put minus MP coaches and trainers and all that stuff on your characters. And that's the way that you go about it. And my last point on this, which I hate to kind of hog the mic here, Shell was asking me earlier, why the hell is Motu Cesaro mentioned in our podcast room? And the reason for that is because I wanted to make a list of all of the minus MP trainers and minus MP coaches in the game. And I wanted to address which ones are being sold, are available, or not. Just to kind of talk about that. John Morrison is no longer with the game. He is the minus yellow MP coach. Motu Cesaro, no longer with the game. He is the minus green MP coach. Zombie Lashley and Zombie Triple H are minus black and minus purple, respectively. Both of them are zombies, and they only come out during October. Motu Dragon, I don't know if he's still with the game or the company or not. I saw somebody pull hype fragments for him, so I'm assuming they can still offer him, but I haven't seen it. King Booker T, obviously, still with the company. He's still a commentator, but haven't seen him in a long time. So right now you have 2 of them that are unavailable, 2 of them that are zombies, and 2 of them that are, let's just say, for argument's sake, available. All of your Ghostbusters don't exist anymore. So all the minus MP trainers, you can't get them anymore. That also includes Johnny Knoxville, can't get him anymore. So that is 6 characters with minus MPs that you can't get. On top of that, we have the other minus 1s, which are minus 1 across the board. So hopefully your minus 1s you can get, or you have, on your account, and you can use those to try and circumvent all these people from being turn 1 with their moves loaded. And those consist of Hall of Fame Sheik, Striker Stephanie McMahon, Super Stacy, and Great Khali. There are also 2 more. Monstrous Mountain Andre the Giant. Again, very similar to Motu Dragon. I don't know if he's available in the game or not. I haven't seen him in a long time, but again, I saw people get hype fragments for him, so I'm going to assume that he is available. Let's say that for argument's sake. And then there's Acrobat Edge, the Iconoclast. Obviously, not available. So when we look at all the ones that are unavailable, is John Morrison, Motu Cesaro, all of the Ghostbusters, which is 5 of them, and Knoxville, that is 8 characters, and Acrobat Edge is 9 characters. On top of this, I'm going to just assume, for argument's sake, that Andre and Motu Dragon are available, fine, and Zombie Lashley and Zombie Triple H are also available, even though it's only in October. It's a total of 18 characters, and half of them you cannot even get anymore. So when you talk about using these tools to circumvent going turn 2, or to fight against going turn 2, and to just use these characters, well, half of these characters don't even exist anymore. So it's a very frustrating experience for a lot of the player base on a lot of aspects. So that I'm hopeful that hype works out. I'm hopeful that they somehow make it a better experience. I think that I hate to say it, but I think that the only way that this goes away in terms of the negativity is if some specific individuals out there that are widely renowned by a good chunk of the player base only make a video trying to highlight the positives of hype, and even that is going to be a very hard sell. Because until then, it seems like a snowball that is rolling downhill and picking up steam fast. But look, that's my take on hype. I apologize for, again, hogging the mic. I'm sure I've said what a lot of you are already thinking out there. If anybody wants to comment on hype, feel free to unmute your mic, and I'll pass the buck to you instead of kind of putting you on the spot. As Phil mentioned earlier, Phil also had to step away for any of you that are listening on YouTube. But yeah, be happy to hear everyone else's thoughts on hype all together, and instead of just mine, right? Envy, I see you unmuted. If you want to maybe pick up the hot mic.
Yeah, so with me, it'd be a strong word to say that I'm a fan of hype. It's a new thing to get used to. So I'm not against hype. I'm not opposed to hype. I can see why people don't like it and what it's doing and how to make it harder for those newer to the game and the free to plays and everything else. But when I got into this game, the part I liked about it was having to think. Having to try to beat the computer by matching some gems, but trying to set moves up in a certain order and doing everything. And since then, the game's enhanced, then it's become a one click and get out type of thing. It's been a speed thing, but I like having to think. So just this past few from last night when hype was first introduced, I noticed my fuse was slower, but mainly they were slower because every match I would go in, I had to think what I was doing. So I had all my people set up to counter any situation that was coming out. and I'd have to think who I'm going to face and why I'm facing them. Do I got the class advantage? Do they have a counter to what I'm going to do? Do I have a counter to what they're going to do? If they go first, am I ready for what they're going to do if the AI plays the right? Am I ready for what they do if I know the AI is going to play them wrong? And there's all sorts of things that I got going on in my head that makes me think for an extra 10, 15 seconds before I jump into a match. Or even a full 30 seconds as I'm checking their moves, checking what they're doing all the things. And sure, for a speed thing and with people that don't want to spend all their time playing the game, it's a thing. For me, that's the type of thing I love, is to actually have to think about what I'm going to do before I do it, to feel like I got a plan going in, and to let everybody else know that they can't stop me when I'm on my game. So hype has got me hyped to do what I do and keep on doing what I'm doing and prove that I can do it with gender no matter what they put out there. And as the world will see, gender still putting it down in these streets.
Anybody else wanna pick up the hot mic? I do apologize for that. Looks like Bucko is interested. Bucko, talk to me.
Well, first of all, the way they rolled it was stupid. 6 years prior to a fucking flash shoot. I don't know what went through their head thinking that was a great idea. But here we are, all rolling with the punches, trying to figure it out. As I said earlier, I dicked up and went into a feud with 300k and almost got my ass handed to me because of that. Or the MP, the Minus MP thing is going to kill people because they're not available. And that's shit, if you ask me. Well, they make them available, either new cards or fucking posters, as they like to say. But they need to do something about that for the newer players that won't have had the chance at any of them. Other than that, I'm just getting used to it myself. I'm just looking at it like, shit, I'm not paying for that. So let's see what I can do. Well, that's why I cut my roster. That's why I cut my. Nah, pay for none of this shit. I'll just cut my feud line in half. See what happens with that, and it's went fine. I don't know how they're going to introduce it into other game mode boss, but if it's like a shit show like this, then it's going to be fun for me on the Discord, but not in the game.
Yeah, it's an experience, that's for sure. Shell or B-Rock, if either of you want to talk about hype, go for it.
I don't hate it. Okay, I don't like it, but I don't hate it. You know, I'm trying to go at it with the mindset of how it is with every next level up in the game. Just let's see how it plays out. You know, what was it? When the game went to 6-star, it was like, oh, this is going to be the end of it. This is going to suck. This is going to be terrible. And shit, look, we're fine. We fine.
Uh-huh.
You know, this is just another evolution. Whether it's for the better, for the worse, remains to be seen yet. I know looking into it, Friday morning, like Friday early afternoon before it went live, everybody speculating and looking at things. I was nervous, and I'm looking at like how the stats are there, and I'm like, I don't want this. I don't play games like this, like that, where you have to put in attributes in certain slots and in spaces. That's not my game. I don't like that. And I'm like, if this is what it's going to be like, I don't know, man. But seeing it live last night, was it as bad as I thought it was going to be, or I was as I was fearing it would be? It doesn't seem too bad. It just, I don't want to think sometimes. I just want to get on, especially during like the flash views where your time is so limited, or like Boss, where your time is limited and you have to get in and get out. It just kind of sucks to have to think about all the reversals for this or that or this and that, and now you got to look at hype as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's just going to be adding a whole nother level that I don't know. I don't hate it. Basically, I'm giving it a chance. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean,
I appreciate them though. I definitely appreciate them still after 8+ years trying to evolve the game and keep the game fresh. I totally appreciate that. But ugh. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, look, I mentioned this in the official server too. We made it through a lot, right? We used to not have trainers and coaches. Now we do. We used to not have 1.25 or 2x speed. Now we do. There was a lot that we didn't have. We didn't have moments. We didn't have gears. We didn't have straps or medals. That was one of the biggest ones, and obviously skill plates as well. There was a lot that we made it through to get to where we're at right now. For those of you that played long enough and old enough, you remember the days that Tough Seth, Trickster Seth, was the best in the game because all you needed to do was use the green move and win, or get a green swipe and win. And I remember way back when, before trainers, that Showboat Andre the Giant with 2 red matches was king of the game. We've obviously come a very long way since then, drastically so. So do I think this is going to be the end-all, be-all, the downfall of the game? No, I don't think the game is going to end over this. I do think that this is a massive shakeup. Like an absolutely massive shakeup compared to what we've had in the past. I think this is maybe just a me thing. I think this is more impactful than what would have happened if we had 7-star. This feels like it's a significant game changer. And for the time being, at least on the surface, this feels more impactful than straps and medals when we first got them. Straps and medals were only really good if you had a full set of medals, a strap for the character that you needed, and enough trainers and coaches to really make them worthwhile. This hype stuff, even with spending, it is still fairly limited. So it's tough right now. It is very, very tough. Bucko, I saw you unmuted if you want to chime in too, and then I'll go back to B-Rock for his final thoughts.
I was coming in while you were on that waffle of things that we had. The thing that popped into my head was the thing that could have made this whole entire weekend even better, just with the launch of hype, is a wee 48-hour feud, you know?
Listen, don't forget that I have the right to just remove you out of this fucking podcast, alright?
Okay, because you know I love 48-hour feud, jabam.
They're the worst. Get your 48-hour feud out of here. B-Rock, lay it on me. We're 2 hours into the pod. We're 2.5 hours into the feud. Talk to me instead of just about Rey Fénix, which we talked about a little bit of, and maybe you could talk to me about your feud experience a little more in depth, but talk to me about hype, brother.
Okay. As I said before, I don't hate it. Okay, I think the presentation, as I said before, was not very good. That being said, as I am feuding, I realize that you might be the problem. Bob, you might actually be the problem.
Bob is the problem.
Bob is the problem.
Oh, Lord. I want to hear this one.
Because, as I said, wasn't really looking into it. I'm finally facing a guy here who's got a striker Dominic Mysterio hyped up to 2.
Yep.
Guess what I don't have?
A hyped up 2 character.
Anything to deal with that. So I think feud has shifted to where it is not about speed. It is now more or less about a strategic lineup for whoever you're going to face. Now, I say that tongue-in-cheek because no, Bob, you're not the problem. But I'm just saying that the game now this is a massive shift. So people that you used to just automatically plug and play in your lineup, you can't necessarily just plug and play in your lineup.
No, not anymore.
And I think that's going to be a little bit of getting used to. I think that's going to be a testament to people's patience. I don't necessarily think that the way this was rolled out is going to help, but I mean, I'm first handing it right now while we're talking, and I'm just like, I just went through my whole roster. My partner doesn't have anybody who can handle this hype too, so it's a wrap. So we're gonna be sitting here for another 10 minutes unless he exhausts his entire lineup.
Yeah, I mean the only way around that, like we were saying, is the minus MP coaches, or you have to bring someone in, like you said, strategy wise, someone in that's going to reverse whatever that Dirty Dom is going to use, whatever his moveset is. If he has like a multi gem setup type of thing, you need to bring in somebody who counters and reverses multi gems.
The multi-gem.
That's pretty much your options right there. Is
Yep.
minus the MP or reverse the guy. But the days of hopping on into feud and one click in or two buttons, that's pretty much gone.
1,000%. 1,000%. And I think that's the part that's going to be difficult because, we used to have feud preps. You really need to prep for your feud now.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just hop on and feud. Let me rephrase that. You can't competitively just hop on and feud. You can still hop on and feud if you're not in a competitive faction. You can do that all day, twice on Sundays. That doesn't matter. But in this situation, if you're trying to, reach max war score or whatever it is that you're trying to do, you need to prepare, either the day before or hours before when you set your lineup. The lack of knowledge is, like I said before, is a big one. See, stuff like this is gonna bother me a little bit, but I'm gonna do it. If you're listening to this podcast, go back and watch Two Bob's videos. You're really going to need to do that in order to understand this to the best that we can be at the moment, because I got one earpiece attached to one phone listening to your video, your YouTube video, as well as playing on one phone and then having the Discord open on another. So that's where we are right now. Because now I'm seeing some of the stuff that you're talking about, and it's making it easier. But it's just I have to finagle my lineup, and not just go with all my one hitter quitters, because it's going to take time.
It's definitely feeling like you're gonna have to start building lineups for counterintuitive gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of just your typical one button hitters. And I think that, like any rarity change, when you have to start working up new characters and your old ones feel like they don't hit as hard or as effectively as they once did, that is where the feels bad comes in. It's like, oh man, I worked up so and so and now he's not usable anymore. And I think that is where most people are experiencing and feeling the harshest experience.
Agreed.
All right. Anybody else on anything else for our podcast? Like I said, I figured today was going to be a jam-packed day, and definitely a heavy-hitting one with the brand new experience that we all had of hype. Otherwise, if no one's got anything else to say, we will head on out. And I will say very quickly, thank you very much, B-Rock, for the shout-out on the video. As we all alluded to before, I don't know why they decided to stress test this hype game mode during Flash Feud, but maybe that was intended, that they wanted to test it as important as it's going to be in a game mode like this. So I don't really have a perfect answer, but hey, nothing but the best of luck to everybody out there who is going to continue going forward with this hype game mode. Again, as B-Rock has pointed out, I've made a couple of videos on it. I don't have exact breakdowns in terms of if you're hype level 3 versus a hype level 1, this is the percentage more damage that you'll do. I don't have that. I don't think anybody has that right now, so I apologize for that lack of information, but the rest of those videos definitely give you a solid information and grasp of what is going on with the hype system. Anybody want to take us out, or we'll call it a podcast? Alrighty. Let's close up shop. Thank you all very, very much for listening on the YouTubes. Huge appreciation for those of you that are still there. And yes, I will do my best in terms of getting this video out sooner than later. I have plenty of videos to get out and essentially negative time to do so. I'm going to be leaving the house very shortly after closing all this up here today, but I will do my best in terms of getting this out on a timely manner, as well as all of the other previous podcasts and the other content that I have coming on out there. Huge shout out and thank you to B-Rock for your demon time today that you were able to spare us. I appreciate that. Shell, thank you. Kitsu's squirrel on this server, I guess. I don't know where that came from. But thank you for your feedback. Even if it is 1 or 2 words, I appreciate it. I think even sometimes the short and sweet and to the point gets the point across. Envy, as always, I appreciate you being here as well. Can't thank you enough for your candid and very bluntly honest and genuine feedback on everything with the game. Bucko, you pushed a little bit at the end there with the 48 hours. I was definitely getting ready to shine my boot up. But thank you for heading on in. Hopefully those of you listening on in live or with YouTube have a viable translator to help you understand McMenemy. If the feedback is good enough, I'd love to get McMenemy back on here, even if you guys can't understand him. And shout out to Phil. Again, I don't know if this was the first time or the second time that we had him on. Phil obviously had to leave. He was going to take care of some family stuff. That is why we did not kind of push the ball in his court towards the end of the podcast there. But a huge shout out to him for showing up as well. That is going to be the end of the podcast and the recording for today. We will be back in a couple of weeks where we got a new MLC, and we'll eventually have a showdown sometime next week that we could talk about how everyone's experience is with that as well. So definitely looking forward to that one. So stay tuned for volume 24. But until next time, y'all, have a good one.
Thank you.